The employment situation in America is deteriorating at a pace that many are hesitant to accept. Just in recent months, companies across the nation have disclosed plans to eliminate over 1.1 million jobs. This scale of job cuts has not been witnessed since the aftermath of the Great Recession. Entire departments and teams are being erased from corporate rosters as though they never existed. Positions with salaries ranging from $70,000 to $180,000 annually are disappearing almost overnight. Even seasoned professionals with years of experience are receiving impersonal emails devoid of explanation or empathy, informing them of their job losses. From tech giants to large logistics firms, businesses are aggressively downsizing in response to rising operational costs, lower consumer spending, and an escalating cost of living crisis. What we are witnessing isn't just a temporary downturn or minor market adjustment. This is quickly becoming the most severe wave of corporate downsizing in modern American history, and it's just getting started. Take Walmart, for example. For decades, Walmart has been the go-to store for families struggling with tight budgets. It's where many turn when their paychecks don't stretch far enough, offering affordable groceries, everyday necessities, and a chance to stretch a budget further. But by 2025, even Walmart is starting to feel the pressure of America's growing affordability issues. The company's announcement of 1,500 job cuts was not just a routine restructuring, but a red flag indicating deeper, more serious issues at play. The very entity designed to help financially strapped families is now feeling the strain itself. These layoffs didn't impact store associates. They affected corporate teams, logistics planners, and key operational roles. The people responsible for organizing shipments, managing inventories, and ensuring products reach over 4,600 stores nationwide. These weren't low-wage jobs. Many of them paid between $70,000 and $130,000 annually, offering rare security in an increasingly unstable economy. Their removal highlights the deepening stress within Walmart's supply chain, and the root cause is clear. American consumers are running out of money. The cost of food has surged, tightening the financial grip on households. Today, the average Walmart customer is spending 15% to 22% more on basic groceries than they did 3 years ago. Prices for everyday staples like chicken, eggs, rice, cereal, and canned goods have all risen. What used to cost $90 at Walmart now often exceeds $120 for the same items. As consumers are forced to buy fewer items, Walmart inevitably sells less. And what Walmart sees, which policymakers continue to downplay, is the rapid expansion of the affordability crisis across the nation. Rent is rising, utility bills are climbing, medical expenses are ballooning, families are faced with impossible financial choices. As consumer demand shrinks to the bare minimum of essential goods, Walmart's profit margins continue to tighten. In response, the company is doubling down on automation to compensate for the loss of human labor. Walmart has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in cutting-edge technologies such as AI-driven inventory scanners, robotic pallet systems, automated sorting lines, and machine-assisted packing solutions. These innovations are all aimed at reducing the company's dependence on human labor. The company's decision to cut 1,500 jobs is expected to save Walmart tens of millions of dollars annually, an action that executives see as necessary given the ongoing economic downturn. For the employees affected, however, the consequences are devastating. Many of these workers had dedicated decades of their lives to the company, only to be replaced by algorithms, robotics, and cost-cutting measures. The ripple effect of these layoffs extends far beyond those directly impacted. When Walmart, a retailer that has long been a lifeline for struggling families, begins laying off workers while prices continue to rise, it signals a troubling reality. The affordability crisis is not subsiding. It is only getting worse. These layoffs mark a turning point, a moment when even the discount giant, once a pillar of affordable shopping, became too costly to maintain in a country where financial stability is increasingly elusive. Similarly, Boeing, once regarded as a symbol of American engineering excellence, is also feeling the strain. For decades, the company was celebrated for its aerospace achievements, its innovations, and its ability to offer highly skilled manufacturing jobs that supported middle-class families. But in 2025, that reputation took a significant blow. Boeing announced the elimination of approximately 2,500 jobs, a move that was far more than just a simple restructuring. These layoffs reflect a deeper issue within the company, which has been under pressure for years. These cuts didn't just affect entry-level workers, they impacted the core of Boeing's workforce. Engineers, quality inspectors, aerospace specialists, and safety analysts, many of whom earn between $85,000 and $145,000 a year, were let go. This isn't just about trimming costs, it's a sign of serious financial strain. Boeing is still reeling from the consequences of production delays, supply chain breakdowns, and billions in penalties tied to its ongoing aircraft safety crisis. The company has already absorbed over $31 billion in cumulative losses over the years. In 2025, the situation worsened as new aircraft orders slowed and regulatory scrutiny increased. While defense contracts continue to provide some stability, the commercial aviation side of Boeing's business has been hemorrhaging money. The most concerning layoffs came from the departments responsible for testing and ensuring the quality of aircraft components. Entire teams tasked with validating bolts, sensors, wiring, and structural elements were either downsized or eliminated. These areas are critical, as errors in these systems can lead to catastrophic accidents and costly lawsuits. Boeing's management insists that automation and process improvements will make up for the lost human labor. However, the reality is simpler. Boeing is in severe financial distress and is cutting jobs to save millions each year. For those affected, this wasn't just another layoff. It was the end of careers that were built on engineering excellence, national pride, and decades of dedication. Many of these workers had devoted their entire adult lives to Boeing, only to have their roles transitioned out. Severance packages offer little consolation in the face of the company's financial crisis. The emotional toll on the nation is undeniable. When a pillar of American innovation, such as Boeing, makes massive cuts to its workforce, it sends a clear signal of broader issues that go beyond the aviation sector. Aerospace has long served as a barometer for the country's economic well-being. When airlines scale back their orders, it's a sign that businesses are anticipating a downturn. Airlines don't expand when consumer demand weakens, and Boeing doesn't eliminate skilled engineering professionals unless the industry's foundation is beginning to fracture. The 2,500 job cuts at Boeing aren't just part of routine corporate restructuring, they are a stark warning that the industrial core of America is facing serious challenges. Turning to General Motors, the company that helped shape the middle class in America, it faces its own set of daunting challenges as it heads into 2025. The much-anticipated transition to electric vehicles, EVs, once hailed as a trillion-dollar opportunity, has collided with significant financial hurdles. Consumer demand for EVs has been unpredictable, battery costs remain prohibitively high, and interest rates have risen, making financing difficult for many buyers. Meanwhile, dealerships are struggling with unsold electric cars piling up on their lots. In the midst of these difficulties, GM announced plans to eliminate 3,420 jobs, a painful restructuring effort designed to save the company hundreds of millions of dollars as it reevaluates its strategy. These cuts weren't limited to the factory floors. They also affected engineering teams, administrative departments, and other white-collar positions directly linked to the company's electric vehicle initiatives. Many of those impacted earned between $90,000 and $160,000 annually, working on advanced areas like battery technology, software systems, and new drivetrain developments. When a company starts shedding high-skilled workers in areas central to its future direction, it sends a powerful message. The financial pressure is overwhelming. Since 2021, GM has invested over $35 billion in the development of electric vehicles, Yet the return on this investment has been lackluster. Sales have consistently underperformed, and dealerships are now drowning in unsold electric vehicles. Production costs remain high, putting GM at a disadvantage compared to cheaper alternatives from manufacturers in China. Every unsold vehicle sitting idle on a lot represents a significant financial drain, costing the company thousands of dollars in carrying expenses. At the same time, consumers are increasingly squeezed financially. Auto loan delinquency rates have surpassed 7.3%, locking many Americans out of the market for new vehicles, especially those priced between $48,000 and $65,000. Instead of capitalizing on opportunities, GM is responding out of fear. Fear that the losses from its electric vehicle venture could spiral further into deeper financial woes. For employees who have been with GM for decades, the emotional impact is severe. Many believed the shift to electric vehicles would guarantee their job security, only to see their positions disappear as automation, software consolidation, and aggressive budget cuts took hold across departments that were once considered safe. The layoffs at GM underscore a sobering reality. The U.S. auto industry is entering a recession of its own. When one of the country's largest employers begins cutting thousands of skilled positions, the ripples of these decisions extend far beyond the company itself. The impact of these layoffs will ripple across states, suppliers, and the entire manufacturing supply chain. Next on the list is IBM Corporation, one of America's longest-standing and most iconic technology firms. Known for its contributions to computing innovations, enterprise solutions, and a highly skilled, knowledge-driven workforce, IBM was once seen as a symbol of stability in the upper echelons of the tech industry. However, in 2025, that reputation was significantly shaken. IBM joined the growing list of major corporations making substantial workforce reductions, announcing the elimination of 2,700 jobs as part of a strategic shift towards AI-driven automation and tighter fiscal discipline. These cuts weren't the typical layoffs associated with industries like retail or manufacturing. Instead, IBM's reductions hit highly specialized roles: cloud engineers, cybersecurity professionals, data architects, and consultants, positions that typically offered salaries ranging from $95,000 to $180,000 annually, placing them in the higher tiers of the workforce. The company's leadership was unusually transparent about the cause of these layoffs, admitting that automation is replacing human workers at a much faster pace than most companies can realistically adapt to. IBM has invested billions into generative AI tools and enterprise automation platforms, which are expected to take over as much as 30% of the company's internal workload. From a purely financial perspective, cutting nearly 3,000 positions will save IBM over $250 million each year. However, the underlying message of these cost savings is unsettling. It highlights the diminishing demand for human workers, even in roles that were previously considered secure in the digital and analytical sectors. These layoffs were particularly concentrated in areas related to legacy technologies, where IBM once led the market. As customers increasingly turn to more affordable cloud alternatives and AI-powered services, IBM's market share has shrunk rapidly, pushing the company into aggressive restructuring efforts. The company has been hampered by slower contract cycles, declining software demand, and escalating operational costs, leaving little room for flexibility. The emotional toll inside IBM has been significant. Many of the affected employees had dedicated decades, sometimes over 20 or 25 years, to building their careers at the company, only to be replaced by the very technologies they helped develop. For older workers, re-entering today's job market is especially challenging. Competing with younger, AI-native talent, who come at a lower cost, puts these workers at an immediate disadvantage. The layoffs at IBM reflect a troubling new reality: a growing white-collar recession. Highly educated professionals, who once believed they were safe in their careers, are now facing efficiency-driven models that prioritize algorithms over experience. These 2,700 job cuts are not isolated. They are part of a larger shift in the American workforce where even elite tech roles can disappear in the blink of an eye. Turning to Microsoft, the company's decision to cut 6,000 jobs in 2025 sent shockwaves throughout the tech industry. Microsoft, a nearly $3 trillion behemoth and one of the wealthiest corporations ever created, has long been a symbol of financial success. Yet, even with such immense resources, it chose to eliminate thousands of positions in a single move. This alone underscores the immense financial pressures facing the tech sector today. These layoffs weren't limited to entry-level or expendable roles. Microsoft targeted the very top tiers of its workforce. The cuts indicate just how intense the financial challenges have become, even for the biggest players in the industry. A wide range of professionals, including engineers, cloud architects, cybersecurity experts, product managers, and AI researchers, were among those affected by Microsoft's recent round of layoffs. These positions, with annual salaries typically ranging from $120,000 to upwards of $220,000, are held by individuals who are essential to developing and maintaining the cutting-edge digital infrastructure that underpins modern society. This includes the systems that power Azure's cloud platform, enterprise security services, and software products that are integral to businesses and individuals globally. The disappearance of jobs at this level marks a significant shift at the top of the organizational hierarchy, indicating a restructuring at the highest echelons of the company. The reasons behind the cuts are both simple and concerning. Microsoft has committed more than $10 billion towards embedding artificial intelligence across its entire ecosystem. Additionally, billions more have been invested in data centers, GPUs, and large-scale computing infrastructure. As a result, operating costs have soared. Some GPU farms alone can run into hundreds of millions of dollars, and a single AI model iteration can cost between $50 million and $100 million to train. With such high expenses, something had to give, and it certainly wasn't executive pay. These layoffs are part of a larger recalibration within the company, aimed at reining in costs. However, the human cost has been steep. Many employees were notified through abrupt calendar invitations labeled as business updates, a term that has become synonymous with dread in the modern corporate world. For those affected, the news was particularly jarring, as many had dedicated over a decade to Microsoft, contributing to core products like Windows, Office, and Azure. In just a few minutes, their careers came to a halt. The timing of these layoffs is especially unfortunate, with interest rates remaining high and corporate clients cutting back on software renewals, leading to longer delays in closing enterprise contracts. Despite generating around $88 billion in annual net income, Microsoft is trimming its workforce to protect profit margins as the global economy slows down. At the heart of this strategy lies a more unsettling truth. AI is starting to replace the very engineers who helped create it. Internal AI assistants are now capable of performing tasks such as testing, debugging, documentation, and even software maintenance tasks that once required large, specialized teams. These 6,000 job cuts are far from just another round of corporate restructuring. They reflect the beginning of a new era for the white-collar job market, one where the stability once afforded to highly skilled professionals is increasingly uncertain. Next is Salesforce, a dominant force in the cloud-based CRM industry and one of the world's most powerful software companies. In 2025, it shocked the tech world by announcing the elimination of 4,000 jobs. With annual revenue exceeding $34 billion, Salesforce was not facing a survival crisis. Instead, the layoffs were part of a strategic decision to pivot toward greater reliance on artificial intelligence, all while reducing the human labor supporting its vast software empire. The job cuts primarily affected customer support teams, sales operations, cloud consulting units, and certain non-essential engineering roles. Many of those affected earned between $95,000 and $180,000 annually, with a significant number of employees working remotely. Salesforce had long positioned itself as the Ohana Company, a workplace that emphasized family values and a strong sense of belonging. But in 2025, That sense of family was trimmed with calculated precision. The driving force behind these layoffs is the increasing role of AI automation in the company's operations. Salesforce has made significant investments in its Einstein GPT platform, an AI-powered system that can write emails, generate customer support responses, handle CRM workflows, forecast revenue, and even analyze customer sentiment. In practical terms, AI has now taken over the tasks of thousands of employees, performing them at a fraction of the cost. While running these advanced AI platforms comes with its own expenses, the decision to replace human labor allows Salesforce to save over $300 million annually. However, this move comes at a time when the company is also facing declining demand from small and medium-sized businesses. As interest rates rise, software subscriptions, especially those priced between $25 and $300 per user per month, often become one of the first expenses to be reduced. Renewal cycles have lengthened, deal sizes have shrunk, and the signs of financial strain are becoming too significant to ignore. The emotional fallout within Salesforce was intense. Many employees who had been recognized for their strong contributions suddenly found their roles deemed non-essential. Internal communication channels filled with frustration, disbelief, and a sense of betrayal. A corporate culture once celebrated for its warmth and inclusivity now felt distant and calculated, as if it had shifted to a more mechanical and impersonal mode of operation. But the impact of these cuts stretches far beyond the company itself. Thousands of consultants, agencies, and technology partners who rely on Salesforce's ecosystem are also affected. As Salesforce contracts, the economic network that supports it tightens as well. These layoffs reveal a harsh truth. Even the most innovative companies are no longer expanding their human workforce. Instead, they are turning to artificial intelligence to drive growth. In 2025, this shift is resulting in real job losses for many people. Now, let's turn to Verizon Communications. The company's decision to eliminate 15,000 jobs in 2025 sent shockwaves through the telecommunications industry. Verizon is one of the largest telecom employers in the United States, providing services to over 100 million customers who rely on its network every day. Despite its massive size, Verizon is now making cuts at a scale not seen since the early 2000s. The layoffs impacted a broad array of departments, including network maintenance crews, customer service teams, retail store employees, cybersecurity units, corporate support staff, and even mid-level managers. Those earning between $55,000 and $130,000 annually were hit the hardest, as entire teams were either restructured or eliminated. Verizon is aiming to slash payroll by hundreds of millions of dollars, with the company estimating that these cuts will save more than $1.2 billion annually. This drastic move highlights the mounting financial pressure on Verizon's balance sheet. A major factor in this pressure is Verizon's massive investment in expanding its 5G coverage, upgrading fiber networks, and modernizing its infrastructure. The cost of rolling out 5G alone can reach between $8 billion and $10 billion annually. Yet, consumer demand has not kept pace with this level of investment. At the same time, Verizon is facing stiff competition from cable companies and lower-cost wireless carriers, which are steadily eating into its market share. The economic squeeze caused by inflation has led to an increase in customer churn, with many switching to cheaper plans. Verizon's premium plans, priced between $65 and $90 a month, are being undercut by rivals offering plans as low as $25 to $35. This loss of revenue has pushed Verizon to implement aggressive internal cuts to avoid further erosion of its profit margins. The emotional toll on employees has been profoundly damaging. Many individuals who had dedicated between 15 to 25 years to the company, rising through the ranks from entry-level positions to managerial roles, suddenly found themselves displaced. For some, the news came through brief video calls, often with minimal notice and no opportunity for proper closure. These weren't abstract roles. These employees were integral to maintaining essential infrastructure, including those responsible for keeping the nation's communications operational during storms, outages, and other critical situations. Overnight, these dedicated workers found themselves jobless. Verizon's mass layoffs underscore a grim reality. Even industries that are considered vital are no longer immune to the effects of economic turmoil. When a company so deeply embedded in the fabric of everyday American life cuts 15,000 positions, it serves as a stark indication that a significant economic contraction is underway. This isn't simply cost-cutting, it's a restructuring driven by growing concerns about the challenges the economy will face in the near future. Next, Intel Corporation made headlines in 2025 with the announcement of 20,000 job cuts, one of the largest layoffs in the history of the U.S. tech sector. This is no small, struggling startup, nor a retail chain in decline. Intel, once a dominant force controlling nearly 80% of the global CPU market, now finds itself cutting tens of thousands of highly skilled positions to survive in an industry undergoing rapid transformation. These layoffs hit the core of Intel's operations: chip designers, fabrication plant workers, systems architects, supply chain managers, and R&D experts. Many of these professionals were earning between $110,000 and $190,000 a year. For decades, Intel employees were confident that their jobs were secure, largely protected by the insatiable global demand for processors. But those assumptions were shattered by these mass layoffs, revealing the painful truth. Intel is losing money as it struggles to compete with rivals like TSMC and NVIDIA. The company has invested over $25 billion in building and upgrading semiconductor manufacturing facilities across the U.S., part of a strategy to restore American dominance in chip production. However, chip fabrication is incredibly costly. Just one advanced facility can require between $15 billion and $20 billion to build, with billions more needed for ongoing operations. Delays, engineering issues, and production setbacks have led to significant cost overruns, causing Wall Street to lose patience. At the same time, the rapid rise of AI computing has shifted power from traditional CPU manufacturers to companies focused on GPUs. While NVIDIA's market value surged past $3 trillion, Intel's stock price struggled to keep up with younger competitors. This dramatic shift in the market prompted Intel's leadership to make tough decisions in pursuit of efficiency, which, in corporate terms, meant slashing jobs. The emotional consequences within Intel have been severe. Engineers who had dedicated their careers to designing chips used in everything from laptops to military systems suddenly found themselves out of work in a tech industry already flooded with laid-off talent. For many of these employees, careers spanning 15, 20, or even 30 years ended with nothing more than a cold HR email. The ripple effects were felt beyond Intel itself. Suppliers and partner companies immediately felt the strain as well. When Intel cuts 20,000 jobs, it's not just a matter of reducing the workforce, it has a far-reaching impact across the entire supply chain, affecting many other businesses that rely on its ecosystem. The fallout from Intel's recent layoffs extends far beyond the company itself, impacting manufacturing hubs in states like Arizona, Oregon, New Mexico, and Ohio, which rely heavily on Intel for employment, local contracts, and economic activity. The loss of thousands of high-paying jobs, many with six-figure salaries, has drained billions of dollars from these regional economies virtually overnight. Intel's decision to cut such a significant portion of its workforce sends a powerful message about the fragility of America's semiconductor industry. Despite its prominent position in the tech world, even a company of Intel's stature is paying a high price to remain competitive in an increasingly volatile market. This move underscores the ongoing struggles in the semiconductor sector, highlighting how far the battle to secure America's leadership in this space is from being won. Similarly, UPS's announcement to cut 48,000 jobs in 2025 shook the very foundations of the U.S. labor market. This wasn't a small-scale corporate downsizing. UPS, one of the largest employers in the nation, is eliminating a workforce greater than that of many U.S. cities in a single move. When UPS slashes nearly 50,000 positions, it signifies a major shift in logistics, one of the core pillars of the American economy. The layoffs spread across nearly every aspect of the company's operations, affecting package handlers, delivery drivers, supervisors, dispatchers, warehouse staff, and mid-level management. Many of these positions were unionized, offered salaries ranging from $45,000 to $95,000 annually, and came with robust benefits. These were considered reliable, middle-class jobs, exactly the kind of employment that policymakers have long promised to protect and rebuild. Yet, they disappeared in an instant. Officially, UPS attributes the job cuts to restructuring and the rise of automation. But beneath this explanation lies a more sobering reality, driven by financial pressures and a slowdown in demand. The company has invested billions in advanced automation technologies, such as robotic sorting systems, AI-powered scanning tools, driver-assist software, and fully automated warehouse robots. These technologies are replacing human labor at an alarming rate. UPS estimates that these cuts will save the company more than $3 billion annually, highlighting just how aggressively automation is displacing workers. The timing of these layoffs reveals deeper cracks in the economy. As inflation continues to squeeze household budgets, Americans have reduced their spending, particularly on online shopping. The resulting decline in package volumes has significantly impacted e-commerce growth, leading to a sharp drop in revenue forecasts. In response, UPS acted swiftly to protect profit margins by eliminating tens of thousands of jobs. The emotional toll inside UPS has been profound. Many workers, especially drivers, had spent years cultivating customer relationships, mastering delivery routes, and enduring the physically demanding nature of the job, all with the expectation of stable, long-term employment. Yet, they are now being replaced by machines and cost-saving measures. This seismic shift will also have far-reaching effects on local communities. UPS hubs serve as economic engines, providing support to nearby restaurants, gas stations, small businesses, and contractors. When 48,000 jobs disappear, entire regions feel the impact. These layoffs serve as a harsh reminder that even essential industries like shipping, delivery, and logistics are no longer insulated from automation. The workers who have kept America moving for decades are now being left behind. Finally, Amazon's workforce reduction in 2025, which initially confirmed 14,000 job cuts, with projections potentially reaching 30,000, stands as one of the most aggressive corporate downsizing efforts of the year. This drastic measure highlights the growing trend of large corporations increasingly turning to automation and restructuring to streamline operations and maintain profitability amidst a challenging economic landscape. When the second-largest private employer in the United States begins shedding tens of thousands of jobs, it's far from a typical corporate reshuffling. It's a stark signal about the future direction of American employment. These layoffs are largely targeting corporate and technical roles, with affected teams spanning areas like AWS, logistics planning, retail operations, advertising, and AI development. Many of the individuals impacted were earning between $120,000 and $210,000 annually, and some even held leadership positions overseeing multi-billion-dollar business units. The message from Amazon is clear. No department, title, or role is safe. Behind this drastic move, Amazon is undergoing a massive internal transformation. The company has invested over $50 billion into AI, cloud infrastructure, and automated fulfillment. The cost of a single robotic fulfillment center can range from $30 million to $500 million, and Amazon now operates numerous such centers. These facilities rely on far fewer human workers, with machines taking over jobs once performed by thousands of people. These robots never need rest, don't get sick, and aren't asking for raises, making them an increasingly appealing alternative to human labor. Meanwhile, Amazon's retail arm is beginning to show signs of strain. Consumers are scaling back on non-essential purchases, leading to an increase in cart abandonment rates. When shoppers stop buying lower-priced items, such as $29 gadgets and $49 home goods, Amazon's profit margins begin to shrink rapidly. The decision to cut up to 30,000 salaries is part of an effort to save billions, particularly as revenue growth slows within the company. The emotional impact of these layoffs has been significant. Employees have described the process as cold and impersonal, with many learning they had been let go at the exact moment their system access was revoked. Many had dedicated years to meeting Amazon's notoriously high standards, only to be dismissed without prior notice or any form of ceremony. The broader concern, however, lies in what these layoffs represent. When the company that helped shape modern e-commerce and employs hundreds of thousands of people begins to eliminate corporate jobs at this scale, it signals a rapidly intensifying economic downturn and the rise of an AI-driven workforce, replacing human labor at an accelerating rate. These job cuts aren't just numbers, they are a glimpse into the future of the American economy. Increasingly automated, obsessed with efficiency, and becoming less forgiving to workers.